quintet of attendances in a historic week, beginning with the Women's Academy against Warrington and the Women's First Team against Leigh, both at Edgehill Road Community Stadium on Wednesday and Thursday. Then it was the historic first ever Catalans away with Wigan on Saturday and Carcassonne Pier in the Super 13 Grand Final. And then Swinton against Halifax Men in the Betfred Championship on Sunday at Edgehill Road Community Stadium. More history came in the first ever visit to a foreign country in this series, where we went to Paris as part of Wigan 1, where we went up the Arc de Triomphe and the Eiffel Tower and made full advantage of the pass to use the metro system and the travel as well. So hope you enjoy this extra extended video because of the Paris trip. The game in this week was on Forza Horizon 6, one button games, volume 5 in 1 hole 2. Keep it a bit on the PC, Hot Go Live and Slime Major Windows, and the countdown had no new records. Brand new week, and we are back on Forza Horizon 6. As you can see, we're level 30 now in the top corner. We're also driving a Mercedes AMG 1, which is quite powerful as well. Tuesday evening, and it is a return to the one button 5 in 1 series, this time with volume 2, to see if we can do a little more. So Wednesday morning, and it's on Keeper on Windows. We haven't got an achievement for a while because obviously we lost the character and that starts again. But yeah, let's see if we can get one this time round. So the first one adult triple this week is Wigan against Warrington Women's Academy. 824 for Wigan, 1,008 overall. It is played 3-1-3 against Warrington Women's Academy. 22nd Women's Academy overall, 79th Rugby League, and 85th attendance in 2026 as a whole. We're looking for 5 consecutive wins, and as we say, it's the first of 3 here this week. Half time out at EHR, a very delayed half time as well after an injury to a Warrington player after just 5 minutes. He was stretched off. Hopefully he's alright. I've got it as 32-0 to Wigan, but the scoreboard says 26, so it's anyone's guess tonight. So, full time here from EHR, and another successful win for the Wigan Academy. Wigan is 56, Warrington 0. And we're back here in 24 hours to watch the first team against Leigh. So it's another evening in Arnold, no rain tonight as of yet. 822 for Wigan, 1,009 overall. 5th against Leigh women, played 4-1-4. We are looking for 6 consecutive wins, 565 wins overall and 375 at home. 255th women's game overall, 80th Rugby League and 86th attendance overall. Half time here at EHR, so far so good. Wigan women 38, Leigh Leopards women 0. So full time, 2 wins in 2 days for Wigan, all good. Wigan women 68, Leigh Leopards women 4. So Friday, another week where we've had absolutely no records whatsoever because the contestant design was that good that he answered it within a few seconds. So not had the record since Monday of the week before, so 14,895. Because the week began on Monday, it was the same for the month. It is 336,000 for the year and 3.45 million overall. 320 weeks, 1,599 days. So Friday gaming is a game called Hot Go Live. We've been looking at it for a while. It's finally come on sale, so we're going to give it a bit of a go. Bit of a sort of simulator type of game, really. So Saturday morning, just before we go to airport for Paris, so most of the video for the rest of today will be based on that. One slime range and windows just to keep the daily streak up. And so the Paris trip begins, as per usual. When we go anywhere, it's raining, so start the day. Here's a nice little shower before we make the trip to the airport. So this is a unique first in 11 years of doing this out and about series. We've never set foot in an airport before. We're at Manchester, we're at Terminal 2. bit nervous because we've not done this before, and also we're doing it on my own as well. So next update will be when we get in the airport. It's a sign we've seen many a time on many people's Instagrams, and we've always wondered whether we'd ever see it again. There you go, Manchester Airport Department. So first of many face to camera for tonight. Bit worried, nervous. I don't get anxiety on me, but this isn't something I've ever done before on this video. I'm certainly not alone. Went through the security bit, that was fine, you know, metal detector, arms out, all that stuff. But I did notice the bottom of my left leg was showing up with exclamation points, so, well, I've not got any metal inside me, not that I know of anyway. So we went through, fell to the door, sit down. I said, what's the problem? He said, obviously, you want your left leg. I said, I went steel toe cap boots, but when I searched online, it said you're forced to wear them on a plane, as long as you declare them when you go through. I did say to the fella, when I walked through, I've got them on, so, you know. Took them off, he did left leg and right leg metal detector, nothing. I had to take my boots off in an airport. It's hard enough to get them on with the weight I am these days, but it is what it is. But yeah, did that, all checked, and we're through, so now it's to the gate, but that was very worrying that. Because if I had the metal inside me that I didn't know about, what would I have been doing? So finally got gate info, started walking to the gate. While the other one smart aleck comment from a group of lads sat, saying, ooh, don't like with the big coat, where's he going? I'm going to Paris where it's predicted to rain today, that's why I've got a big coat on. So here we go. On the platform, we're going to be on G-E-Z-T-Y. It's raining, so that'll be a fun one. Arrivé à Paris. I can speak French, so I might as well use it. So we're now at the airport, passport control, and then we'll start my journey into the city. So a long walk from what was Terminal 2B, where we're supposed to be coming in 2D. Got through passport control in about 20 minutes. The puzzling thing was that not only did we not have to do the machines, he scanned the passport and that was it. No fingerprints, no photo. I don't know what's going to happen on the way back. But that's no different than when I've been to Spain before all this came on, so I don't see what the fuss was. But yeah, we're at the Gare train station with the Area B to then go to the Arc de Triomphe for a 12:30 visit. So the first leg of the day is the RERB to Paris. Well, we've seen it on a lot of different TV programmes, but we can finally say we've actually set foot in Gare du Nord. So now it's a little bit of walk, because we're a lot earlier than I thought we'd be, to then get to Le Chapelle and then the metro to the Arc. So that's the second leg done. We've arrived at Charles de Gaulle Étoile, so now we're doing a short walk up to the Arc. We're a little earlier than my ticket says, so we'll have a bit of walk around as well. Well, there it is, Arc de Triomphe. Got one at home, it's not as big as that one. So, got a little bit before we have to queue up to get in it. That should be fun. But yeah, there we go, that's the first one ticked off. So, on a little walk. Certainly lose some weight this weekend. Now, in the middle, at the Arc de Triomphe. It's high. Very high. Should be fun walking up the steps. Go back as far as we can. Okay, there you go. That's the tight. A lot of the names about, obviously it was a War Memorial originally. Translated it is the Arc of Triumph. You see famous battles up there, Ypres, Luxembourg. And we weren't sure that we'd see this, but there is the Eiffel Tower over there. That's where we're going next after this. And all being well, we'll be going right at the top. So here we go, Arc de Triomphe steps. Take your time.
Your muscles burn? Oh, yeah.
Have a pause there. So this is what the camera looks like from just below. We've just been down there. Oh, well, now we're going to make a few steps up to the very top. This is the middle, a little bit more to get to the terrace. Where's the model? So, about 4 million steps later, at the top. It's raining. It's typical that you need the weather in the UK immediately. So I'll just have a wander around. The original plan was to do La Défense, then here at the tower. Now because of the travel involved, we scrapped La Défense. I'm glad I did because we can see it from here. We wouldn't have got as good a view stood next to it as we have here. It's right there, a little cube in the middle. I thought of the commercial business district of Paris. If you look around you, it is the most populated by buildings. So over there in the distance you've got Leigh. We've just seen someone we know from Wigan. I didn't think that would happen today. That's one person we know anyway. At the skyline it really does amaze you. When I've been to the top of Eiffel Tower,
Eiffel Tower in the distance there, which is what we're going up.
We've been to the top of London on a game, we've been to the top of Eiffel Tower on a game, but enjoy you see it for real.
So this has been recorded in pre-edit.
Wow.
But yeah, it was a lovely view there.
Just show you last though that in Paris there is very few and far between heights, whereas if you go to London and you stand on something high, you see someone else high. Here there's a lot of low landings, which is brilliant. So just before we make the descent downstairs, this is the Soldat Inconnu de la Grande Guerre Hommage Venu du Monde Entier, which basically means the memorial for the World Wars. As you can see, she opened in 1944. And even though it was a bit of a struggle coming up, back down the Arc de Triomphe, as they say, it's a lot easier going down a hill than it is going up one. 274 steps, I think it is, but then you have the middle with a few more, and the terrace with a few more, but when we got that view, and we got rained on as well, that was worth it. So, stairs all done, we're now underneath the arc, officially. So, this is the angle from the other side. I say all the different names, and then obviously this is the other part that we did have on the Lego model, which is the, I think it's the equivalent of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in France. I'd say you could never get tired of walking around this, that's for sure. So the plaque in the middle, 4th of September 1870, Proclamation of the Republic. On to the side, as you can see, the Soldat Français Mort pour la Patrie, 1914 to 1918. So a short walk to the metro with a very classical song in the background, which I normally drive to on Forza Horizon. Very well played as well.
So after leaving Charles de Gaulle on the way to Bin Hakim on the Metro 6, this is the view you get going over the Seine Bridge, the Eiffel Tower. It was lovely to see it like this before we actually do get to it.
So we arrived at Bin Hakim, Tour Eiffel off the Eiffel Tower. Arrived at the Eiffel Tower, now to try and see if we can go up it. At the Eiffel Tower, security checked. Soldiers with guns. That shows you in a dangerous place. There we go, up the Eiffel Tower. Climbed on Assassin's Creed and on the Saboteur, but we've never physically been up here. Now up to floor 2.
As you can see, as we go up the flowers from the second to the summit, it was something that we only realised later on, is that the steps on the outside, people go up and down them. Glad I didn't go up because you can see some people were quite exasperated when they were only about halfway up.
Number 2, we're up to the top now.
Well, it was open. Not too sure.
So the Pont Neuf Bridge, which was famously decorated, it's been in the news recently. Lovely to see it from above.
So we've made it to the top. This is the Eiffel Tower from the reverse with obviously the gardens.
Tam, ta kopuła, nie? Jak ta malutka widać tam w środku.
Not too sure how far you can see here, but it's a long way, put it that way. A very foresty area over there.
Nie stójcie wszyscy przy krawędzi, bo się przeniosą.
So from the east side. Bridges, remember that one well, one in the middle there, because when the Olympics coverage did the open ceremony down the Seine, that was one of the bridges where there was dancers across it. It's just amazing just how far you can see, it's unbelievable. I mean, it is officially the highest point I've ever been that's not been on a plane. Blackpool Tower was big, but this is bigger. From from the north corner. Again, we can see the river. We can also see the Champ de Mars, which we would have been getting the bus. I think that was where we went. We would have gone if we had gone on the metro. And obviously the gardens there, which was where the opening ceremony was done for Paris. That was all covered. Just to show you where we've come from, the Arc is over there, right in the middle. So we've been earlier today, and that just shows the difference between the height. Earlier in the video you'll see me stood on the Arc, looking up at this, and now we're looking down on that. Nice and sunny down now, sun's come out for a bit. That's the view of the gardens and obviously the road below. As you can see there, the Olympic rings. We covered the Olympics for Paris. Obviously doing it for myself, but we still did it. It was one of the things that we did hope to do in the past. When we were training for journalism, we said London and Paris, to actually physically go to them both during the Olympics. Okay, it took a couple of years longer to get to Paris, but we've still done it. Now from the west, where the wind is a little bit. So this is where we're going later, as we've done. The plan for today was to start at one end of the facility and then end up at the other, and then come all the way back. So as you can see, just over there in the distance, there's the Arc de Triomphe. Going into in a couple of hours, so we'll make our way over to the bridge over there. I think that's where we came from, and then we'll get the metro or the bus over. So that's an hour, you know, from Wigan, which we'll go on to later. Then again. Bit of football there. The score is down there. It's like watching FIFA that way, think about it. Like watching a game of FIFA on the air. I'd say that's Paris's version of Central Park. Look at this. All the buildings, and there's that nice bit of green in the middle. The west again with all the bridges. It's like London, the amount of bridges they've got here. A bit better angle on the football pitch as well. That's the west side. Because it is such a famous place, the Eiffel Tower, there's actually a kiosk behind where you can buy a bottle of Moet champagne. Mainly because a lot of people do propose a little bit, yeah. Well, you never know in the future. As we said, the Eiffel Tower is famous for proposals. Champagne, €78. Wow. You've got to propose up here, you've got to do it proper. Well, some get champagne, I get Evian. I'm on my own today and I need a bit of a refresher. A little look, you can see the Olympic rings. I think we're more or less back where we started, because that's where they're going as well. So we've come a little down from the summit now, just to do a little more content with no gates in the way. I'd love to know how far you can see from here. Unbelievable. So as you can see, La Défense is over there in the corner. And there's the Arc. Strange to think we come from there just over an hour ago. Weird that we were stood on that and it was raining, and yeah, we're in here nice and dry. You can see where you can see over there, the two stadiums again, which we'll be going to in a little bit.
So on the floor there's like the 320 nicht ganz, 300. So, jetzt guck ich mal raus.
Lustig wäre es mit Glasboden.
Das wäre so lustig mit Glasboden. Just get on the like elevator.
So we're on the second floor now, just popped to the shop to get some more souvenirs. So we're on the second floor, we'll have a walk down to it first, down to the bottom, and then we'll, well, see how we can get to the stadium in good time. So on the second floor you can see where we come from, right up the top. Oh, the gardens and the Olympic rings a little more clearer. Oh, there's the stadiums again, that's where we're off to next. Not sure how we're getting there yet, but that's where we're off to next. So, we've done the lift up, so we're going to do the stairs down for a bit of exercise. Obviously you get to see a bit more of the view as well. So, a few flights of stairs later and we're on first floor. Let's have a quick wander around here. Cafe in the middle, but as we're going to the stadium, we'll eat when we get there. Because of the logistics involved, we went back the other way from Biraki to Passy to Trocadero, so we managed to get the Eiffel Tower in reverse, this time a little better than the first time because we were on the right side of the metro to do so. So yeah, we did the Metro 6 one way and the Metro 6 the other way. And this was on the way to then go over to Port St Cloud. So, Bir Hakeim to Trocadero, and then Trocadero to where we are, Port St Cloud. So, we're just gonna have a wander up to the stadium. We might make the start of the French Grand Final. If we don't, we don't. We still want to see the majority of it. Just going past the Parc des Princes because we came out the station at a different exit than I thought I had. We're down the back of it. Although, considering the pitch that's in the front, ain't Champions of Europe, they knocked us out, so I'm not really going to be celebrating that. So, just a bit of a short walk to the stadium we're going into. Okay, we spotted it around the back as well. Champions of Europe, we know, and both times you knocked us out. So, we arrived at Stade Jean-Bouin. French Grand Finals on the way, like I say. Wigan games, what matters, we'll get to see some of it. But yeah, we're going to go in. So, after a bit of hot dog and water, some of the hot dogs on the shirt, so we're not going to wear the shirt again, so it's a bit of a memory. Game 1 is Carcassonne against PR, 188 other, first ever Super 13s game, never mind Grand Final. First non-UK attendance ever, because we have been to watch games in Wales, so that's why we have to say that. It is 1,010 overall, 715 men, 81st Rugby League in 2026, and 87th attendance in 2026 overall. So, demi-temps, half-time, it's Carcassonne, 12 12-all. Well, there's something historic. Not only is it the first French Grand Final seen, it's also not finished with a winner. Full time in regular time, Carcassonne 30, here 30. I don't know what they do in the French. Is it golden points? Is it extra time? I don't know. These two teams do not want to be separated. Half time in extra time, it's still Carcassonne 30, here 30. What happens? Did you just play till someone scores? Well, there you go, there is a winner! Drop goal in whatever minute it was, I don't know. The winning team is PR. PR 31, Carcassonne 30. So Pierre, the French champions. Just give the idea of in the Challenge Cup last year, we did like a league and Challenge Cup winner. Would you ever think of a Wigan or KR against the winners of this from last year? Like a French-English Grand Final. So this is a historic one for the first time ever to Catalans away. 1,011 overall, 823 for Wigan. 22nd against Catalans, the first outside of the UK. 18 wins, 3 losses, 3 game winners streak. We're looking for 7 consecutive wins as Wigan as a club. We are also looking for 140 away wins in what is taking to say this. 249 away games, so I thought it was 250, but I'll come next week. 320th Wigan game in Super League. It is the hoping to avoid 105 away losses. 82nd Rugby League and 88th attendance for the year as a whole. Well, I'd love to see how the security guards left and get them in. They were struggling with me to keep a trap on me bottle, but yet you're allowed to bring players in. Come on. So half time here at Stade Jean-Bouillon. So far so good for Wigan. Catalans 6, Wigan 30. So full time here at Stade Jean-Bouillon, and well, played 1-1 away from me against Catalans. Full time Catalans 16, Wigan 40. One of the new metro line, and I was the 13 to Carry 4, I think it is, and then it'll be the first bus of the day, and then hopefully the hotel. Metro's on for the day with the Carry 4 clear, so next thing is wait for the first bus of the day. Off the bus at Arc de Triomphe, so final walk of the day, off to the hotel for possibly a bit of rest. I'm not really that tired to be honest at the moment. We've got to be back out at 5 in the morning, so. Well, this is the hotel. We only booked it because we're flying back the following day and we needed to have somewhere to stay for a bit. So, usual bathroom, aircon, which is something we don't have in the UK, despite people thinking that we do. Very unique that we have 3 beds, when there's only 1 of me. Little desk area. TV that does turn on, but there's no remote, so I don't know how you're supposed to use it. And yeah, window, so that's about it. Bit of extra special joy during the game as a friend who was watching at home spotted that we were on the crowd about 57 minutes, so there we go, proof that we were actually in the crowd in the pink maillot de rose. Bright and early Sunday morning, it is 5:30, so well 5:25 waiting for the shuttle. We just exited the Kiriakou Eco Premier Class. For a 2-star hotel, I was quite happy with that. Obviously the TV, it did have controls on the back but it didn't seem to work, but didn't really watch TV like 12 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, so shuttle bus to CDG, we're going back there, and then it's basically we was there since yesterday, CDG to Manchester and then home. And then that's the Paris trip done. Sunday's not finished though because we have got a game planned for Swinton against Halifax later on today. It's staggering to think that that's only 10 hours from now. Well, we arrived at CDG Airport, a slight sense of deja vu is at the Gare train station RERB. Also, we just got a bit, well, we thought this trip was going too straightforward. The flight back to Manchester is going to be delayed. So that means that we're going to have a very short turnaround from getting back to going out again. It also means we turned up at the airport with an early time, but we might not even need to. But we're here, so that's the main thing. Oh, it has to be said, all those scare stories of 3 hours early and all this stuff. We turned up, no, I mean the plane's late anyway, apparently. But went through, had a sandwich, something to eat. You walk up to the passport gate, scan your passport, takes a picture of you, and you're done. 2 minutes, that's 3 hours. All these scare stories are ridiculous. It actually took longer to get into France than that's to get out of it. It's supposed to be the opposite round. Well, we've been here since 6 o'clock, it's 9:45 and we're finally bored. We should have left 20 minutes ago. We'll get back when we are at 11 o'clock this day. Well, we're finally back home in the UK. What should have been 5 to 10 ended up being 10:30. So, just waiting for Dad to come and get us. We'll go home for a bit and then we'll be back out for the final game of the weekend, which will be Swinton Halifax, and then I think we'll have a rest tomorrow. We have booked the day off work Monday deliberately just in case something did go wrong. But I don't think I'll be flying anytime soon, let's put it that way. First flight in 17 years, and I only did it this year because Catalans away was the last one before my 40th. I can't see any other reason to do any others anytime soon. There is Wigan rumours playing in Dublin next year. Could get the boat to that, or if it's Warrington, let's be honest, we've missed Wigan Warrington in the past before, so not a big thing, but we got all we wanted out of Paris. We went up the Arc and up the Tower, and we've seen a Wigan win in a different country, so all good. So it is short turnaround from Palace early this morning. Swinton against Halifax Men. 189 another third men's championship. It's the first meeting between the two. 1012 overall, 43rd, 83rd IRL, sorry, and 89th attendance in 2026. So half time at Joe Road and a very fiery, fiercely paced first half, in which one team's ended up with a playing at Simbin. It's Swinton 10, Halifax 14. So Hooters gone here, it's currently 22 all. This kick to win it for Halifax. There you go, kick over. Full time, Swinton 22, Halifax 24.